let's say $60 a day on Facebook can provide you around in a local market, minimum 10 to 20 inbound fresh leads. And that's with the minimum ad spend. If you want to scale past that, then probably would be putting $70, $80 per day, and then going through an incubation period of at least 3 to 4 months so that you can start putting more ad spend and getting more sellers and ultimately scaling more spending, right? Mm-hmm. So we start very, very simple. We making sure that they get on the groove of speaking with sellers, inbound sellers, getting the conversion going, getting to follow up properly, getting them to really close deals. And once they use those profits, then we can put in more ad spend. We can ultimately add another channel such as Google PPC, which not everyone is ready to do it right off the bat because it requires even more money, right? Yeah. But the beautiful thing about it is that we help them do this to leverage time. It's one of the biggest things that we've seen, leveraging time through digital marketing. But we are about 14, 15 people that are actively doing remote jobs. So we don't have anyone in-house. There's only one American and another one that is in Miami, where we work with remote entrepreneurs and just remote workers around the globe. South America, we have Asia, we have Canada, we have Central America, and all of us are actively helping real estate investors. So in, let's say, about 2 years, we were able to grow from no VAs or no employees to 15 employees. And in the first year of us working with real estate investors, we tracked $4.2 million in assignment fees that we helped wholesalers and investors. So that was good. Obviously, tracking this, it depends on the feedback and on what we see from our systems that tracks assignments and closed deals. Yeah. So we've been helping them at least start with about 10 to 40 leads minimum that are inbound, depending on the budget, depending on the location where they are, the competitiveness of the market, whether they do local marketing or they do statewide, nationwide. A lot of investors don't necessarily do only their backyard. They also do, let's say, other nationwide or different counties, and they would wholesale leads. And so we try to do the minimum, at least bare bones, but a lot of our investor clients, let's say the ones that really want to scale, they try to achieve more. So overall, we have about 70 clients on board, and all of them are either using digital marketing with us, Facebook or PPC. Some of them are doing TikTok ads. So if you think about it, TikTok, how do you get sellers with TikTok? And some of them, they also are using our remote Latinos virtual assistant service. As I told you at the beginning, we have teams all over the world, but we have Latin American people, and we've been helping them kind of get Latinos so that whenever the time comes, they can expand their business with real good people. Yeah.
So you mentioned like did I hear that right? 4.3 million?
4.2, in assignment fees, and that's tracked.
So this is the assignment fee that your clients are getting.
That our clients we've been getting.
So you're doing all the ads, you're and you're doing all of that. You're generating leads for these wholesalers, and then they're doing the assignment. And
correct. The fees. We help them.
Yeah. And how do you get paid a percentage of this assignment fee, or you?
We do have that option, but only with selected few. Okay. It's called rev share. Okay. So only the true closers and true operational businesses we trust in doing that. Imagine going with a newbie and being like, "Hey, I'm gonna depend on your closing skills." Yeah. And that's not gonna be a good business model for me. Yeah. And also, they're not gonna have skin in the game. So we have a monthly obviously retainer, or they can sign up with 6 months or 12 months. But the minimum mindset of doing this is at least 16 weeks, because if you think about it, the sales conversion cycle, it's not like you're gonna close for sure like next month.
Yeah, people don't decide like, oh, I see an ad, oh, maybe I should sell my house, and then let me call up right away. So I think it's it
Well,
takes a
they're not
while.
going to
You
give
need to
away
see
their
it.
house too.
Yeah, yeah,
And even though, let's say they see an ad on Google and they have the intention of selling their house, let's say they type, I need to sell my house fast. So they have the intention because they type these keywords, they have the intention of selling. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they have not gone through every single one of the first 4 options that are in Google,
yeah.
and that these other people also call them with an offer or like try to get them to work with them. So how do you differentiate yourself? How do you differentiate with the other people that are in Google, right? Or running ads on Facebook? First is speed to lead, where you have to be very fast and service them with speed. That adds tremendous value. Second is being able to have a sales process where you build good rapport, but you go with intention of really adding value to this person and really helping them. Because a lot of wholesalers will be like, so how much you want? Like how much, like what's your minimum amount that you'll take? They'll try to lowball and they don't really care about what the issue is from the homeowner. So, and then the other one is like, what type of fulfillment would you do for your clients? So wholesalers will rely on cash offers, but a real estate investor and wholesaler would also add, let's say, creative ways of taking down the property, right? So there's different things that we definitely help our clients really understand through the conversion process. So we're not really a lead generation company. We're a lead conversion company.
Okay.
And we develop really great stuff so that when clients come in, they'll be like, okay, look, this is what I understand. In order for me to be successful, these are the key points that need to happen in order for me to really, really close deals from digital marketing.
So when you're getting the lead, you're curating the lead, you're kind of qualifying them and stuff like that before you give them to your clients.
Them. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of times people will just put an ad and put like a quick 2-3 question form with just like, hey, name, email, address, and that's it. But there's no sifting through the noise there. Yeah. There is no friction so that people that are maybe just thinking of selling but not really having the intention, those people will still go in. And how do you sift through the noise, the people that are not really serious? You have a pre-qualification process in your funnel, right? So you have enough questions so that it doesn't make them like take forever, but enough questions that they're going to be able to be filled out fast. They're going to go through some other questions and potentially at the end connect with your agent, with your closer, in a calendar link. For example, you can put them a Calendly at the end of the funnel, or be like, okay, now I can speak with them directly, or I can call them, or our inside sales agent or follow-up specialist call them right away, really quickly talk with them, pre-qualifies them, build some rapport, and land transfers it to our closers, to our clients' closers. And that is speed, that is conveniency for the sellers, and obviously it will decrease the probability of the seller after filling out the form to not pick up the phone. Like there's a high probability that they can get busy after.
So how many kind of like raw leads are you getting, and then after you kind of like pre-qualify them, how does that narrow? What's the ratio of that you throw away, basically?
It's crazy because probably around with all our clients, I want to say that we generate over 200 leads or more. I cannot count right now, but per day. And that is a combination of Facebook, Google, and obviously different clients have different ad spend. Different real estate investors have different goals.
So every client comes in and says, I want to do this. You're going to create the creative material, the ad specific to their kind of like their buy box, what they're looking for.
Yeah.
You're going to do the ads. It's going to create its own little funnel. And then one or more of your guys are going to pre-qualify them. And then it's going to go into your client's system and stuff like that.
You got it. And so one of the ways that we definitely capture, in order to capture homeowners and their attention on Facebook, for instance, you have to be able to have a great creative, and this is going to allow for them to stop whatever they're doing. It makes them stop, gets their attention, but not only makes them stop, understand the message that you want to provide, whether that's a big bold letter saying need to sell your house quickly, or get a full price cash offer, or something that has enough. There's an excuse for them to click or stop. Now, then they're gonna see the text. The text is exactly how you're going to portray the benefits that you can give them, the opportunities that there is for them to work with someone that can solve their problems. So you first call out your audience. You tell them, "Hey, homeowners, we've been recently helping others get outside of pre-foreclosure," and so you're now mentioning the pain points. And these pain points is something that they will feel attracted to. Why? Because probably they're going through something like that, or similar, right? It could be inherited homes, it could be pre-foreclosure, it could be lots of repairs, bad tenants, whatever. And you list down the opportunities and the benefits of working with you, and then doing a call to action, because people are not going to do anything until they're being told to do. So like your call to action would be like, "Hey, click and learn more, and you'll get an instant cash offer or an immediate cash offer once you speak with our team." And then there's gonna be the text, the headline that is going to kind of reinforce your offer. You can put your offer there, and you can add the urgency and the scarcity in order for them to make them make a decision faster. And the button says learn more. They go into their landing page. Landing page could have your brand. It could have maybe a non-branded brand saying, for example, like a lot of wholesalers, they do not necessarily care about their brand. They can use a page saying we buy houses or any house online, or for example, Home Buyers of America, and they don't necessarily have a brand, but the page will capture every single seller, and it will pre-qualify them, and then through kind of like just a routing system for each specific wholesaler, specific client of ours, we will send those leads to the specific pipeline. So it's all exclusive leads that are being sent live to their pipeline and to their CRM, a notification center, to their agents, so that they follow up immediately.
Well, for all the creative too, are you guys doing it like a market specific, like, and is it your branding or the client's branding? So do you guys have like
we do both. We do both, and like I said, for example, a lot of clients do not care about their brand as long as they're generating the results, and probably they're not really strong in brand. Now we could do branding campaigns. That's also something. That's another service that we do, like branding and things like that. But for the people that already have a brand, let's say, for example, if we get to work with our clients, iwillbuyhouse.com, that it's a client of ours in Seattle, they have a brand and they want to utilize their Facebook page, their name, their logo, their colors. So not a problem. During the entire setup process, it takes about 10 business days. We will pick the color, we will pick the logo, we'll mold the landing page and every single advertising to what they have to do. And it's a quick process, because we gathered all the information from the client and we studied the brand, and our designers are going to be like boom, 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 creating really beautiful stuff and attention grabbing creatives, or just utilizing the copywriting elements in order to get the attention and mold it with the brand. So that's something that we do.
Is there any like magical words that you use in the ads and stuff like that automatically grabs attention?
Yeah. So in order to get attention, you have to make sure that you call out your audience first somehow. You can call out your audience by stating who they are. So in this case, for example, we can say attention homeowners, or you can state their pain points. So have you ever felt that like owning a property is such a pain? Or for example, are your tenants not paying their rent?
Right,
exactly. And you can add scarcity and scarcity words, and you can also add urgency words.
What's an example of a scarcity?
So a scarcity words, it could be, for example, this offer will not last, or we are only helping 3 homeowners this month, or we are only buying 5 more houses this month in your area. That actually puts scarcity into the ad, and it's going to make people think that this is kind of exclusive enough, and there's not too much of it.
Like, gives them a sense of urgency. Well, I better call now. I don't want to be number 6.
So, for example, whenever you utilize scarcity and urgency, it allows people to take action faster. So the threshold of them not taking action, so a lot of people are on the fence, is reduced significantly whenever you use those 2 elements of marketing, which is scarcity and urgency. Yeah. And for something to add urgency, for example, is but hurry. We are having this offer available for the next 24 hours, right? Or but hurry. Last time we only accepted 3 clients. Our doors closed at whatever. Like we are able to create so much urgency and then taking action, because sometimes it's hard for them to trust you fast. Yeah. Sometimes it's hard for them to make a decision on them themselves too, and those little elements will help, right? Like, for example, like you can do that in video too. You can say something in words instead of just writing, and now you're portraying a message in a video format and not just a message format. And at the same time, while you're building they are building familiarity with you because they see your face, and that familiarity, after they see your face maybe 1-2 times, it breeds trust, and then you tell them, hey, like last time you saw this ad, you were on the fence, but we have a better offer today. It could be exclusive to you. We're doing something new that might help you even cash flow. For example, for creative investors, right? That allows to get full price offers, right? Yeah. Full or top dollar offers where they can, for instance, say, hey, no problem, Mr. Seller. Your house looks fine. It's awesome. We're able to meet your price. However, I'd like to find out if you are open for terms. And obviously, obviously, like you're able to give them the best of what it's out there, like the best type of offer, and put it out there. And if that doesn't work out, then you reset the frame on the phone call. We don't buy every single property, but we can buy some of them full price. It depends on the property and whether it qualifies. However, we also buy cash offers, right? So once you get someone with a good offer, someone that actually sees a good offer online, and you're able to fulfill one of those good offers, it's going to be preferable than just seeing, for example, cash for homes only, or like sell your house for cash, because everyone says that. Everyone puts that out there. So how do you differentiate yourself with the offers, with the creatives, with elements of urgency and scarcity?
Are most of the creatives video, or is it mostly text? Or because also too, like, and how granular can you get? Because I think before we had done it in the past with just a Facebook lead form, and you could be like, hey, if you live in 38109 and you have back taxes, or like name the zip code, and like they literally see it, they're like, I have a house in 38109 and I owe back taxes and I want to sell my house. Like, how granular are you guys getting? And is it mostly video content you've seen like perform the best?
Yeah, so video content is great because it allows you to have sellers that take a little bit more of time in your ads, because now they're seeing something that is just not static, but it's keeping them for a longer period of time. Also, video like I said, it provides familiarity of who you are as a human being. They can see your expressions, your emotions, your tonality.
Yeah.
And ultimately, that can help you convert even further, because all this is breeded through trust, and now trust breeds sales. So I have a story of a client recently that we've been running only static creatives, right? And it was a static creatives, and we asked him for a video. Took about 1 month and a half to like do the video. It was a simple video. Like we have a teleprompter training, and we're like, hey, send us the video, send us the video. Obviously we were generating leads from static creatives. That's fine, right? But then once he gave us the video and we retargeted everyone that had seen all these ads previously in 1 month and a half, we retarget them. And now he's on the face, he's in the face of the seller, right on the phone. He's just showing there himself, and the seller booked an appointment. And when they went to meet in person, the seller was like, "What? It's the same person? I wouldn't think that it would be the same person." Yeah. So the rapport building process was just easier, right? Yeah. First of all, they think of you of higher status, like in terms of like this guy has a higher authority because he's putting his brand out there, he's putting his face out there. He must be trustworthy somehow.
Yeah. It's actually him.
It's actually him. Yeah. So he visited the seller. They locked up the contract right on that first appointment. And this is a case study that will come up in the YouTube, because it's interesting to listen from him initially, like from him, like and the video. And after that, I've been like pushing all my team to like all our client success managers. Clients have to give us videos for the retargeting ads, and even for the regular ads that just go to cold traffic. Really. But they have to do it because there is a power in video. Right, there's a huge power.
What about just their face? Like you have static ad that's just like words and a picture of a house. But what if it's an ad? Like, have you done any kind of A/B testing? It's the same ad, except like now you have the picture of the buyer, of your client in there.
Yeah,
no video, but just static.
So a lot of even real estate agents do this a lot too. Like they only put their their face,
the pose,
and things like that.
Yeah.
So it's a good way to do branding campaigns. But for lead generation campaigns, we want to be able to transfer and build out trust through their emotions. So for example, if we have human beings, we have to make sure that these human beings and whatever picture is there, it brings their emotions out. So for example, if we have a testimonial or case study from a seller, another seller that you already work with, and that seller is happy and shows like a happy face, shaking your hand, or for example, like in front of the house that you guys just closed, or in the title company,
put themselves in the shoes of that
100%. And you tell that this seller, let's say, I don't know, Sophia, seller Sophia just sold the property to us. We were able to help her get outside of a complex situation, let's say probate. Yeah. And you put that in the ad copy, and you put those emotions in the creative. It's easier to transfer that over. If you're just gonna be putting your end buyer in the ad, like it's not gonna do much. Like probably for a branding campaign, only branding, yes. But for lead generation, you have to be able to just transfer that emotion. Remember that at the end of the day, sales, it's transfer of emotions, right? We transfer what we describe. So for example, marketing a homeowner that it looks a little bit worried about their house, like their face is a little bit worried or things like that, and their house looks pretty beat up on the inside, and it's obvious that the homeowner is worried about this house, and then you put that together with the text, then that transfers emotion, saying this homeowner has trouble with this house, and I also have trouble with this house. Therefore, I'm gonna go and take action towards this. Like it's easier for me to relate to this. It's more relevant to me.
Wow. Yeah. So Esteban, how did you get to start this business? Right. I'm kind of gonna change track here because you're an engineer.
I'm an engineer.
And then you, and actually we just discovered that you're from Canada. We're also from Canada. You're from Toronto. You studied at the University of Toronto. So how do you go from that engineer and project manager? I was a project manager for many years. And then, how do you go from that into, building a lead generation agency?
It's funny that you ask me, because I sometimes do not even understand myself how a mechanical engineer would come to build a good marketing agency, like a decently sized marketing agency.
Yeah.
And I believe I'm still an engineer, and engineers solve problems at the end of the day, right? And they design solutions. They're designers at the end of the day. So I designed a big problem and provided the solution that a lot of real estate wholesalers and investors have in a daily basis. That's lead generation, lead conversion, and people expanding through people, right? So these systems and people are something that I'm looking forward to do. But the real reason why I started kind of getting outside of that engineering position and things like that is that I wanted to add value to a lot of people. And I wanted to have an impactful work by just helping others, right? I enjoyed, for example, I helped one of my cousins get out of a very difficult situation. He was addicted to drugs, and I helped him to overcome that, spoke with him, and made him move outside of the city, change the environment. My uncle and my aunt were crying, and they were all the time worried about it. But since I talked to him, I coached him, I made him move to another city and get a job that was actually coming from my contacts. That changed my uncle and my aunt's life. And that fulfilled me a lot. Why? Because he was able to change his environment. He was able to overcome all these huge limitations that he had, and huge problems that he had at the time. And that was ultimate fulfillment for me. So when I started really looking for that type of fulfillment, I started looking at it in the online world. It was at first online world, and I found real estate through fortune builders and a lot of...
Wow, no way.
Yeah. Robert Kiyosaki, obviously reading him.
Yeah.
And then I started getting a lot of content from Grant Cardone, and he sells you on real estate too, you know what I mean? And obviously there's a lot of opportunity in Detroit. So when I graduated and I went to Detroit, because that was...
You graduated from University of Toronto, right?
I graduated from University of Carleton University.
Okay.
In Ottawa. And then I went to Toronto.
And that was in engineering that you graduated?
Yeah, bachelor's in engineering.
Okay, so did you ever have a bachelor's in marketing or anything like that? Or it was really just engineering?
Honestly,
at that point? You learned
everything I have been learning has been by myself.
Oh, really? Wow.
Self-learner. A lot of podcasts, books, a lot of obviously YouTube videos, and invested in a lot of courses that of people that already have proven a system or a process. So, by the way, a huge person to learn from in marketing is Frank Kern and Dan Kennedy. Write that down. Those are huge guys to learn from in terms of learning marketing, understanding marketing. Another guy that is recent to understand marketing too is Alex Hermosi, that I learned from a lot. And his book, 100 Million Offers.
Oh my God.
But
I've been watching every single video for
Right?
the last 3 months, dude.
Yeah.
And it's changed everything.
It changes everything.
Yeah.
And I know that a lot of his mentors are Frank Kern and Dan Kennedy, for instance. He reads his books, he consumes his content, a lot of books. And so I didn't really go to school for it. I just learned it by myself. And then later on, I invested into great coaching courses and masterminds to learn even more. But I always had the personality to be outgoing, to be very people person, to be empathetic, and you need to learn that. You need to be like that in order to understand marketing and sales. And just I had so much energy at work in Chrysler when I was working at Chrysler that I couldn't just get out. It was it was like a box, and I couldn't get out because what I had to deliver and what I had to give out there was so much more than designing vehicles or the pickup trucks, you know, the 2500, 3500, you know, all these vehicles that I used to design, and yeah, it was cool to see the production of these vehicles and do all of that. But for me, it was easier and better to help people through that one skill set that I started to learn by myself, which was marketing. So, for instance, my first client was a cash buyer in Detroit.
Okay. So when you work that's when you moved to Detroit from Toronto or Ottawa, and then you end up in working for Chrysler.
Yeah, I ended up.
Trucks.
So I graduated from Carleton, went to Toronto, couldn't find a job. I did Uber for 8 months. And then I cold called someone in an engineering company. I cold called them in order to put myself out there and get the job. And when I cold called them, they're like, "We don't have a job opening, but I really like your approach. Yeah. Let's get you inside an interview." I went to the interview. That was my first ever like real life experience, and I did that for 4 months. And then after that, I got recruited in LinkedIn through a recruiter in Michigan that wanted me to work for this big part supplier. Yeah. And that's how I got into the automotive world. That's how I started working Chrysler, making $80,000 a year as an employee, and 25 years old and things like that. So it was pretty great experience.
I kind of did something similar when I was looking for. I graduated in actuarial math. And then I was looking for an actuarial job in Toronto, and I lived in Montreal at the time, so I just grabbed a bunch of resumes. I went to Toronto. I didn't have any interviews set up. Nobody was responding to anything, and I called them up. I said, "I'm in town. You don't have to pay for my flight or anything like that. If you have like 30 minutes to spend, to spare, and we can talk, have a coffee, and then that's how I got a job. Like." They didn't
Did you do that in Paris as well?
I did that in Paris as well, in France and England as well, but that didn't quite work. But that was a great approach because then it's less of a commitment for them to kind of like schedule everything and stuff like that. And then, they had no opening. But then when they saw that I was there, they're just like, okay, well, you're a good guy. Why don't you well, make some room, I guess. I don't know how that works with HR, but that's how I got a job.
You have to be bold and you have to be willing to
because
to
before that, I had sent like 80 resumes like all across the country, and it was just like nothing.
I had sent like probably 300 applications throughout, like it may be about 2-3 months. 300 applications. Yeah. And I went through some interviews where I didn't have the experience, so they didn't just accept me and everything. I did try to do those job networking things that would happen every 2 weeks and try to like sell myself and everything, but just didn't work out. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna like utilize. Sorry, I'm gonna use Uber and leverage those trips to listen to podcasts, learn, also talk to people that potentially would have been really good for me. And I actually met a lot of really wealthy people. Like I would make sure that I would have these good trips and find who has the most amount of money.
Trip.
Who has the most amount of money? Who has the most amount of knowledge? Yeah. And I used to, so I'm a very curious personality, and I would spark conversations, and sometimes I would learn things people teach me just because they wanted to talk and teach you some stuff. And I was able to pick up a lot of millionaires in Toronto. Yeah. People living in these huge mansions and things like that. Obviously, not everyone, but doing that, I leveraged that time of being in Uber in a vehicle where I was meeting people. And even though not everyone was the person that I wanted to get some value from, but I was able to get something out of it. Yeah. You have to sometimes squeeze whatever you're doing to squeeze the juice of whatever you're doing in order to get what you want. And if I chose Uber, I chose talking and conversating with people to get connections, find out how do they do what they do, how do they make money, how are they successful, and that ultimately was helping me. Not only that, but while driving, and this is a huge hack, is that I drove so much that I also consumed so much content in audio,
Okay.
right?
That
That
you consumed a lot.
right. Oh, driving, Uber, Esteban Uber, the drunkie. No, but yeah. So I consume so much content, audio content, that basically it increased my learning curve tremendously.
Yeah.
Like sometimes people will just listen to music or not do anything at all in their trip to work. Sometimes 30 minute trip, 1 hour trip. I decided that while driving Uber and my trips to work, I was going to listen to podcasts, highly valuable content that will teach me skill sets. For example, a lot of let's say Frank Kern, or a lot of Gary Vaynerchuk, a lot of mindset and a lot of tactical podcasts. And then ultimately, that's what kind of made me become rich in my mind, right? Yeah. And it was so much richness in that I was getting from.
Tell me about a little bit more about kind of like the mindset and stuff like that, because that must be, if I put myself in your shoes, driving Uber. First of all, I don't like driving, so it'd be extremely painful for me, even if I had to listen to podcasts all day. And then, so you had kind of like you say, well, okay, I'm driving Uber, and then I'm listening to all these podcasts. And then how does that transformation happen that you say, okay, well, I'm going to get off the car now and I'm just going to be lead generation. I have enough knowledge, or I'm just going to get started. Or so what's the transition here, or the catalyst that made that happen?
Obviously, driving Uber is not a sustainable model, and
Don't tell Uber that.
and being an Uber driver forever is not going to get you too far unless you're willing to think outside the box and do things that a lot of people are not doing. I decided to listen to podcasts while I was going from trip to trip, and I didn't have a passenger. And when I had a passenger, I decided to have conversations. That helped me think, how can I make the most out of my time? Time is one of the most valuable assets. And at the moment, I had the attention on Uber and the passenger. So I build out customer service skill sets. I build out negotiation, or dealing with like very uncomfortable or different situations that would come up from like people that are really hard to deal with.
Yeah.
I built a few skill sets that people would teach me, and connections. People would literally invite me to the bar right after, just because I was having good conversation, making them feel great. It's all about the experience that also you give to your clients as soon as they go inside your car. But the mindset is like, you will get so much valuable content, information, knowledge, and learn a lot of things, but that does nothing unless you do, and you become a doer.
Exactly. Yeah.
And for me, I was listening to all these marketing podcasts and Grant Cardone and everything, and I was like, you know what? I've been driving Uber. I've been getting this amount of good value. Now I'm gonna make a spreadsheet, just like I listen to a podcast. Make a spreadsheet, list down every single company that I potentially could actually work with, and put a spreadsheet where I had the phone number, the email, and I have like a follow-up column. Did that for like 300 companies. That's how I cold called, and then got the job. And then the same principles that I applied would be for finding my job in Michigan that would pay me in American dollars, not Canadian. And then also finding a way to get outside of that box by learning about lead generation, by testing myself out, testing my skills, and just doing and risking it. Because here's one of the biggest things that here's one of the biggest regrets that I had around my 20s, early 20s, is that I did not take action faster, and I was not risking it faster. You have to risk it to get the biscuit. There's no way that you're going to achieve success, high levels of success without risk. There's no way. Like, I haven't met anyone that haven't risked time with the family or their job or not having income the next month because you are in commission based or you are on sales based. I haven't met anyone that achieved greatness without risk. And that's something I lacked as a 20-year-old, where now I'm try to make decisions faster, even though I'm an analytical brain because I'm an engineer. Try to make decisions faster and just go for it, right? Because like for me, COVID was the one that made me go for it. Because it actually caught my job and just kicked me out. And that's how
sometimes you need a little push.
You need sometimes a little push.
So, but you know, a lot of people are gonna say, Esteban, yeah, this is all nice. You know, you didn't, you know, you're young. Maybe you didn't have the big house. You didn't have the family. You know, and it's kind of like the same thing for me too. Like when I got started and when I bought that 8-unit apartment building, I said, well, what's the worst thing they can take is like the $50 I have in my bank account if I go bankrupt. There was not much risk. For you, I mean, you had a job and stuff like that, so you have a little bit more, but people are going to say, well, yeah, this is easy for you to say, take risk, but what about me? Like, I have a house. I don't want to lose my house. I don't want to lose this. I don't want to lose. So how do you, and you're, again, analytical mind, so kind of how do you mitigate the risk? How do you make sure that you take a chance, you take a risk, but a calculated risk?
Right. So obviously understand every single potential things that could go wrong. And being able, like, if you're gonna make a decision and you're unsure about the decision, you have to see, like, can you live with it? Like, if you make the wrong decision, can you live with it? Is it the end of the world? Can you go back? Because the one thing about entrepreneurs is that it doesn't matter how it is, you're going to continue always win again or get off from touching rock bottom and get yourself together once again. Like, entrepreneurs have this quality of doing it. But for example, if you have like a lot of things in plate, for example, like kids, obviously I don't have kids and things like that, but I do have an analytical mindset, right? An analytical brain. I was literally weighing out all my different options at the time, but I didn't take action on any until like it kicked me out of the butt, like COVID kicked me out of the butt. So just stick with one and go full in. Literally go all in something, but choose something. Because at the time, I chose something, but it was like a quarter in, 50% in, right? And yeah, I started becoming good and stuff, but I was not 100% in. When you are all in into something, it's easier now to make a decision that, okay, now this is something that it's going to be, it's something I'm going to focus on, and it's something that I'm going to really achieve great things, even if you're an analytical mind, right? Just pick something and go all in.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the problem too. Other people, they kind of start something and then they realize that, oh yeah, well, so too much work. It's more work than I thought, or I'm not making as much money as I thought, or something like that. And then they see a shiny object and then they switch.
So much.
They start wholesaling. Then they start flipping. Then they read a book about burr. Then they start burring. You know, like. But I think once you find a model, whatever interests you first, I think it's worth going deeper and deeper, and then really kind of like do a deep dive. Like commit yourself, to that business if you're making some money, and then try to take it as far as you can. I think this is and then after a while, then you can say, okay, well, this is great, but I think I can do better, and then you can move on. But I think people are moving on a little too quickly, and they're not taking on the lessons of committing themselves, I think, to their venture or to their business and all that. So that's kind of what I'm seeing. I think too much switching for the shiny objects. People have business ADHD.
100%. Look, man, at the beginning, I try to juggle with a few different things because, like, it's high dopamine effect that whenever you start something new, you have high dopamine effect. Like, it's like, oh, this is new. I'm going to go in there and, like, start this and, like, do a little bit of this, or 60%, 70% in. And then, but you're also doing all 3 other different things or 2 other different things. And you're not putting 100% in. Like, if you put 100% in something, I can guarantee you that amount that you could have put in that only one thing, while you were juggling with other different things, that amount will generate you way more money, more revenue, more growth. And for example, me, at the beginning, I was doing flipping, I was doing lead gen, and I was doing Amazon FBA. And like, first of all, the only ones that correlate to each, I mean, they obviously all of them need lead gen, but like flipping takes time, effort, sacrifice, and a lot of stress. Lead gen is a skill set that you have to consistently like be like sharpening. And Amazon FBA, fulfillment by Amazon, it's like so much attention. So I eliminated Amazon. And then I learned that, hey, if I only go all in lead gen and forget about flipping, forget about wholesaling, like I know it's great. And I know that there is wealth in real estate. But if I do lead gen in real estate and I go all in, I simplified my business. And now how do I further go into simplification? When you do lead gen, you can also offer Facebook ads, PPC, YouTube ads, TikTok ads. You can offer like organic cold calling, or you can offer SMS marketing. You can offer different lead gen. Yeah. Okay, simplify again. Which one are you going to focus on? So I focused at the beginning, Facebook. One thing, right? That one thing I got really good at. And then once I got good at, I optimized it, right? I was able to really create processes and systems. So first is simplification. Second is optimization. Yeah. And then I can expand. I can expand and taking in more clients, or taking in potentially a little bit of PPC now, because now I have the capacity of doing Facebook really well. So that's how you do it, like simplification, optimization, and then expansion. You can expand your business, and you can expand it by adding another tool in your toolbox. For example, if you got so good at generating leads to wholesale, but you realize that recession is not really great for only wholesalers, but you have to utilize novation agreement, create subject to opportunities and seller finance, then you have to do it, but you have to learn how to generate opportunities and how to close opportunities through the simple form, which is wholesaling, right? And you can expand. You can do, if you do this fast, you're going to be able to grow your business fast, and you're going to be able to have more revenue overall.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I'm saying. I think this is important to go deeper and really kind of like focus on the optimization, efficiency, and all of that.
100%.
And then you can tweak it to also increase your profitability.
Yes.
Per deal. And then you can start, when that's working great, then you can think about expanding. You can expand vertically. I mean, you could have decided to say, hey, I can generate all these leads. Why don't I do wholesaling, right? Et cetera.
But your question too is about the people with full-time jobs, right? Like, how can they do it on the side too?
Yeah.
So like, if you have a full-time job, like, and then you're doing 3 shiny object things, like, good luck. It's like, if you if you have a full-time job 9 to 5, and you're Gary V, like, you're 6 to 2 in the morning, 6 p.m. to 2 in the morning is like your side business. It better be one damn thing, because if you have 3 things going on, good luck. And the other thing too, like, I think a lot of people also don't portray that information or their wants or desires to their spouse, or like, they're not like letting them know.
Yeah.
They're like, why are you locking yourself in your room from 6 to 2? It's like, just sit them down.
Hey, I told your mom.
Yeah, right. I get the phone call. Why is he in the office still? But yeah, like, I don't know. I mean, I've never done it before, but I think a lot of people have had success. Like, you know, it's a partnership with your spouse too. And just being like, hey, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to try it for 6 months. So give me 6 months of time. I'm not going to talk to you for 6 months, or whatever the case may be. Or we'll have one date night every week or something like that. But sitting them down, I'm going to give me 6 months. I'm going to focus on this exact thing. Like you said, like, Facebook ads for real estate wholesalers. I mean, how more niche can you freaking get? So yeah. And focusing on that, I think, is like how somebody could do it with a full-time job. But you have to like let your family know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, over communication, because otherwise they're not going to know. Like, people are not going to know if you don't tell them, and you don't over communicate your intentions on the future.
But also partnering, right? So it's kind of like, you know, your spouse is also part of the team. And I mean, I was very fortunate that Lynn, my wife, was you know, a part of everything, a lot of the businesses that we started and all of that. And so that was great. But I mean, I think even if you think that your partner is not into that, or is not doesn't know anything about business, they may still have skills and stuff like that that can help you achieve what you're trying to achieve, and you become a better team that way.
I think a lot of people struggle with them being an entrepreneur and being a doer with their partner, because obviously, like, I see a lot of people saying, how do I make sure that my spouse understands me and things like that? But like, what if you actually make your business and your relationship with your spouse not separate things, but like one flow, one harmonious thing, right? What if they actually are one nice song together, right? And I feel like it helped me a lot to do that. But after I learned that you don't necessarily have to mix, you don't necessarily have to separate both, because you are in this stage of growth of like so many things in your head, trying to achieve great stuff that is not usual for the regular individual. We're overworking, overachieving, big vision, right? Trying to achieve great things that are further away from money or large amount of money is not usually how it is, right? It requires a switch to be turned on in your brain. So having one flow with your spouse, I think it could help so many people that are struggling with that.
Well, I think that was like what Alex and Layla Hormone, I mean, you said you watched them, like that was their thing too. It was like there's like 3 times, I think she said there's a couple different types of couples, and the most successful couples are the ones that are in the same capsule together with the same goal in mind, because you're with that person 24/7.
Yeah.
And then if you guys both have the same vision, dream, and work ethic going towards the same goal, I mean, you're unstoppable. Just like Grant and Elena Cardone too. Same capsule together all the time, same goal, same vision. They're like, whereas like 2 different people, an entrepreneur and maybe somebody who works full time, doesn't mean that it can't work, but it's like, the power couple dynamic, which has just been interesting to see a couple couples pop up like that with both of them in the same capsule.
Because otherwise the other partner, let's say the woman or the man, they become the weights on the wings of the other person. Like they want to fly, they want to skyrocket. Yeah. Like they and then the other one just become weights. It's just holding them back from achieving this great stuff. Yeah. So it's definitely difficult. Like I'm not obviously a couple advisor, but like
you're more like a poet.
I'm more like a
poet. The poet engineer.
Poet engineer.
So let's talk to some of the people that are they're having a full-time job right now.
Yes.
And so they say, well, this is great. Like, how do I get started? What are kind of like your recommendations for them to kind of get started in real estate? What they should pick in terms of strategy? Should they go into lead generation, or should just take advantage of your service to start doing wholesaling or start flipping, or what's kind of your criteria?
So I'm gonna be both biased and unbiased. If you're starting out, first of all, don't get overwhelmed with so many strategies on how to skin the cat in real estate, because there's so many strategies, so many ways. BRRRR, creative financing, wholesaling, fix and flips, so many things. So 100% pick one that you feel that is going to go with you. But there's one thing that you do have to have. That is lead generation, right? So you have to have lead generation, regardless of what you do. Yep. You have to learn how to generate leads. And there are so many ways to generate leads. The beautiful thing about generating leads through digital marketing is that you don't have to hire so many VAs to get so many appointments and then manage these VAs and then have a manager of those VAs after. And then you have like dozens of VAs, and then you have to deal with people, right?
Army of VAs.
And the churn of it, right? And digital marketing, you literally tell Facebook or Google PPC, you tell Google AdWords, this is the ad spend, give me $5 back. You want more revenue? Okay, let me put now $2, and it doubles, right? The same thing, it's a linear thing that you're able to do, and as you optimize, it can become exponential. But $1 can bring you X amount of dollars. So for example, one of our clients in the first 4 months, this is off charts, but it brought him $33 out of $1 in the first 4 months. But usually you would have, in average, people bringing $5 for every dollar that they put in.
Wow.
And if they want to expand, now they put $2 so that they can bring $10, right? And that's the beautiful thing. You just leverage your money and get your time back.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have to have a hassle of managing lots of VAs for SMS marketing or a cold call. And the leads come in, and they come in with the intention and speaking with you.
Mm-hmm.
So now your job, and this is the second thing that you got to do, if you want to get started, the second thing you have to do is you want to become at least decent at sales.
Mm-hmm.
And so whenever you have opportunities coming in, an opportunity could be a homeowner looking to sell their property to you. But they're not going to give it away. An opportunity could also be a wholesaler bringing you a deal, right? It could be a JV partner that is bringing you a lead, and they don't know how to talk to the lead. So you are, first of all, negotiating with the homeowner about the deal, and you have to be able to be good at sales.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be able to at least be decent at sales, so that in the future, whenever you actually hire someone for this role, you know exactly what the process is about. Having a sales process, right? And obviously maintaining this flow and being able to consistently do it over and over and over and over, so that then they can expand. So once you have these two and you have these two nailed down, it's going to be easier to make further decisions, because now you're cash flowing on your business and you're actually making money in your business. Choose one thing, learn lead gen and learn sales.
Mm-hmm. So what if they're not good at, so lead gens, we know where they go.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So what if they're not that good at sales? Where would you?
There's a few books that I definitely recommend, and it has a masterclass. So Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. That one is going to help you understand different things about sales. But in terms of the sales process, there is this guy, his name is Eric Klein. And it's one of the most concise sales process that I've seen in real estate. And he comes from the timeshare industry. I learned from him that, first of all, he scaled that timeshare agency to, he was speaking with timeshare distressed owners. Mm-hmm. And he was obviously like doing a lot of sales. He expanded that company to $46 million a year or something like that. Wow. And he is an expert in sales. And he is right now like putting a lot of free things. And he has, I believe, he has a program like this, like 6 weeks. But like, he's the most concise out there. There's other people that definitely have really great courses in sales, such as Steve Trank. Yeah. But if it is real estate, stick with someone that has,
sales.
For example, taking the sales frameworks and put it in their specific niche. Yeah. Right. Because like if we're talking about like, let's say Grant Cardone is B2B sales.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
If we're talking about, let's say, Chris Voss, well, he teaches you how he used to negotiate with FBI. Sorry, not with the FBI. As an FBI agent, how to negotiate with nappers. But a lot of the skill sets can be applied. Yeah, it's a little bit different.
Torture, it's called.
Yes.
Whoa.
This is how you negotiate.
That's funny.
So let's talk about the state of the business. So what do you think is going on right now in terms of the marketing, like the and all of that, but also kind of like the lead generation? You see there's going to be more people that are going to be, interested in selling their home.
I think that a lot of people are going to become, again, during recessions, become rich once again, because they're able to find a groove that works real well. For example, at this moment with the recession happening, a lot of homeowners are realizing that their houses are not going to be sold as if it was 4 months ago. Mm-hmm. It's not the same. And people are going to go into like a state of panic, or into the state of fear, or into the state of uncertainty. And if you're a true real estate investor and can add value to your clients, to your homeowners, and utilize techniques such as creative financing, we're talking about subject to novations, and you're able to structure deals for them where it makes sense for them. Not only rely on cash offer. Yeah, you're going to have those unicorn ones coming in that are cash offer friendly. But now how do you make sure that your fulfillment with your client is having something that makes sense with the current economy? Like subject to, you can wholesale subject to, you can do novations agreement, and ultimately with lead generation, inbound digital marketing, and this is not a biased opinion, digital marketing started to skyrocket once again because people are now searching what happens now that there's a recession. Like, how do I sell my house in the recession? I need to sell my house, but the recession, the Zillow's estimate is too low now, right? Or like they're just doing these different searches online, and they are now going to be looking for a solution, and most people look for a solution online. I want to say about 74%, according to a study that was done by a university. I don't remember where, but people will find a solution online, right? And if you are that wholesaler or a real estate investor, that first get to them fast, get to trust them to trust you, and obviously be able to provide these other solutions and differentiate from these other wholesalers only giving cash offers, they're going to be doing business with you, right? And so you can do digital marketing and combine digital marketing with some sort of outbound. I always tell my clients that digital marketing needs to be combined with some sort of outbound. Like outbound will give you a sense of that I'm getting a lot of leads, even though I have to work them. So it could be SMS marketing, it could be like cold calling, that's outbound. And the inbound will give you high quality, but it's not going to give you too many, right? It's not as many as outbound, but with outbound, there's still opportunities. So mix those two, and then you're going to be able to have a sustainable business and thrive throughout the recession.
And for your inbound, do you have a dollar metric for your clients about how much it costs per closing or per wholesale deal or per contract?
Yeah. Miami, for example, is one of the most expensive markets out there. Like,
no kidding.
Like, it's crazy what South Florida is, and you have to be willing to spend at least $300 to $400 on, for example, per lead on Google here, and go all the way to $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 cost per deal, or even more. But obviously, like, you can get a good profit out of it, right?
That's not that bad.
It's not that bad. So
$4,000 a lead.
No. He said $400 per lead, $4,000 for a deal under contract.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So definitely there's different markets, give you different numbers.
Yeah.
But so you got to be able to choose a good market that you can do. It could be your backyard, sure, but like now that with the ability of being remote, choose a good market that will give you good profits. If your mentor is doing a good market, or if you see that there's opportunity in a good market, why not go ahead, try it again, go all in into it and make profits out of it, right?
And your business model can go to any market, USA.
Yeah, we just tell Google or Facebook, here's a map of the US, which counties do you want? And then you just put it in there and then start showing the ads everywhere. Yeah.
Any channel that you prefer, like Google versus Facebook? Or
so the best channel that there will be there ever would be something that is an intention-based marketing, such as Google, because people are searching. However, there's more competition. But Facebook, the beautiful thing about it is that you can retarget those through images and videos, those that went inside your website or your Google ad. And now you see yourself as more as an authority, because like, oh, this guy was in Google and I just came to Facebook and Instagram and he's here. Wow. And
he's at my house.
Yes, exactly.
He's at my door.
Yeah. And even, for example, you can send email marketing. Let's say you email all your homeowners and then there's a link. Let's say you give them a report. of like how to sell a house during the recession, and they click on that report, you're able to again pop up right there on Facebook and Instagram and be like, we can buy your house or sell your house with us, and get top dollar, get full price, get a cash offer for your house, and you're gonna be seen again as an authority, right? Again, you're gonna be seen as someone that they can potentially trust because there's a visual aspect of it, right? And then you get them on the phone, and you're gonna be able to have a good conversation with people. Like, to me, it's all about good conversation.
It's not a cold lead anymore because you kind of like they were warmed up through the process. They've seen you, they've heard you talk and stuff like that.
Correct. Yeah. Especially like, for example, if you go to Google or someone goes into a Facebook ad and there is a landing page and they see credibility, right? That they see case studies. One of the biggest things that I tell our clients, and this is one of the biggest hacks, is every time that you have a win with a homeowner, even if you close one deal, okay, and that homeowner is happy with your process, with their experience, tell the homeowner, hey, I'll be willing to give you a $75 gift card, all right? All I need is if you can help me help others, we can film a video testimonial here at the title company or at in front of your property, and you tell us about your experience. You film that video testimonial, you put it into the landing page or your website, and you can cut it in multiple videos, just like what you would be doing in this podcast. And ultimately, that gives the sense of trust to any other person that will come into the landing page after that person. And you keep doing that over and over. And you can after they have a win, after the homeowner has a win, you close, they can give you a video testimonial. They can give you a case study, record a case study of like an interview, for example. They can also give you a Google review. You can ask for these things and you can incentivize them even to do it. Some homeowners will do it just by asking, but you definitely can incentivize them. $75 for a video testimonial that's going to bring you more customers is nothing. So every time that you get a client, ask for a video testimonial, ask for a video testimonial, ask for a case study, or just for a success call. Like let's have a call where we can show others how you've been able to be successful with this, and also ask for a Google review. Right? You can ask for all these three, especially when they're in that moment of like, this is great. I'm winning. Something happened good to me. And you do that over and over with your clients every time that you close a deal. And imagine, even if you close only 20 wholesale deals a year, you will have now at least 20 or 19, 18 video testimonials and credibility videos. And now your website will be full of credibility, of trust. You can also create pieces of marketing out of it. For example, if someone comes in, they're not too sure about working with you, not a problem, Sophia. All right. I'll send you an example of someone that had worked with us in the past for you to see that we work real good, we work fast, we're convenient, we take care of everything for you. And here is a video in an email, right? Here is the video of us and the homeowner that we just helped. And that puts a lot of trust. Like people want to work with people they trust, and there is enough other case studies or referrals out there.
Esteban, if people want to reach out to you, they want to get tons of leads to grow their business, where can they reach you?
Yeah, so you can go to my Instagram. I put a lot of content at Estenick, ESTENICK, and I'm putting a lot of video content to help in business, help in marketing, help in sales, and also lead generation, digital marketing. So there's going to be my link tree. Our website is hesselmedia.com. You can always book an appointment with us. Our team will see if it makes sense to work together or not. And also, I have a free Facebook group. It's called Real Estate Investing and Wholesaling Marketing and Conversion Mastery. Wow. So, and that's going to be an event.
That's a long title.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be REI Marketing and Conversion Mastery, because we're going to create an event. We're going to create a mastermind where we're bringing in all the top advertisers TV ads, radio ads, cold callers, SMS marketing, digital marketing in one place, and be able to teach real things like real life scenarios and marketing strategies and tactics to investors. And we want to do it real well. We also want to be able to teach the art of recruiting virtual assistants. That's also something we do, right? So we want to be able to do that because that's a service that we also do with remotelatinos.com. And we want to be able to help as many Latinos to get jobs here in the United States, and as many businesses to help other Latinos to get jobs. These Latinos come in with same skill set, just lower cost for you, same time zones, so you don't have to deal with like Asian time zones and things like that. Also, majority of them, if not most, they have a bachelor's degree. They have some sort of high level education. They went through the schooling system, and they have like accent. I have a little bit of accent, just like you guys, but you know, it's just a tiny one that.
Hey, wait.
It's a tiny one that people in the U.S. are very used to, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I used to have a call center in Costa Rica, manage a call center in Costa Rica for a couple of companies. And I mean, they spoke perfect English, and they were also like very good at, they really cared for people and stuff like that. So the
culture is
very
amazing.
different attitude than some of the
Americans. Say it. The Americans and Canadians. We are entitled.
Canadians.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you call me? Well, Esteban, thank you very much. Thank you for sharing your experience and your story with us. And make sure you like and subscribe. We'll see you next week.